Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Critters, where we live stream every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. unless otherwise otherwise stated. We've been live streaming for over 5 years now, every Sunday morning. Coffee with the Critters. And for those that may be new, my name is Lara Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We are an international educational center where we teach people all over the world how to empower animals and the people that care for them using positive reinforcement and applied behavior analysis. And we do that through our live streaming services. You can find out more about the information that we do here at the Animal Behavior Center on our website at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. You can also always reach me personally, which I answer each and every one of all of my emails. Lara, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. And we've had an extremely busy week. I've been catching up from being gone last weekend. Hello, good morning, everybody. We've got Therese on here, Eva, Bobby, Sandy, Brianna, Nancy Forrester down there in Key West. Nancy, I hope to see you in February. I'm still planning on it. Before we get started, you guys know this is what we do every week. I just want to let you know you can pay attention to our Facebook page where we post all our events. I travel a lot. I haven't since January. I travel a lot, giving workshops, presentations all over, primarily the United States, but definitely not limited to. As our world continues to change, if my traveling starts changing as well, you will see it here. We'll post it on our events page on our Facebook page. You will also find that on our website. So we also send out email newsletters. We do that at least once a month. I'm trying to do it every other week. It's really tough for me. I've got a lot going on here, and you hopefully will see some of what we have happening here very soon. Some things have been delayed due to the pandemic, but they are back in motion. Some of you may know, most of you do not. Let's see what else. Oh, our email newsletter. When you get it in your inbox, this is what the top of it looks like. Next, just before we get started, if anybody's interested in our services, we've been live streaming our animal behavior training and enrichment for over 4 years now, coming up on at least 4 years. I don't even know, 5, maybe 6. I had this idea years ago when I was volunteering at a wildlife rehabilitation center, saying, we need to get a camera in here so we can live stream, so people can see me working with the eagles and the hawks and the falcons and the whatever, but have that be through memberships, where memberships towards the nonprofit that I used to volunteer for. So what I did myself is I just put it into action. When I started the Animal Behavior Center, we did do a lot of work locally, but I was just frustrated, thinking I'm missing so many people out there. I was doing consultations with people from all over the world, live stream online consultations, and they weren't cheap. And I felt bad charging those prices all the time. So what I did was start an annual subscription service, which the world now, in the state that we're in, a lot of people are going this way. I was doing this 6 years ago, where I could reach people from all different countries. And so I put that into motion. And how we did it was we do level 1, which is for companion animals. We live stream our work with companion animals and have monthly Q&As. Level 2 is primarily for but not limited to professional trainers or people thinking about getting in the field of applied animal behavior and how this works. And I live stream my work with alligators. Right now I'm live streaming my work with a Eurasian eagle owl. I show my work with the lemurs, with whatever, okay, with kookaburra. Some people also want species specific, so we offer the parrot project, the pig project, the deaf dog project, what have you. Okay, let's get started. I have a small story to tell, and on today's topic of what is today's topic? When is the right time to rehome an animal? See who's all coming in here. We got Ray, Bianca. Bianca, I'm located in Northwest Ohio, but that doesn't really matter. We're in Sylvania, Ohio. We have a large facility here, but it's not open to the public. What it's open to is our live streaming services, where we live stream in numerous different countries. So Karen, our manager, is on here saying I update the website regularly on the events page as well. Yeah, thank you. No worries, Nancy. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So I picked this topic. I pick every topic with what's relevant that's happening here at the Animal Behavior Center, or what's happening across the world. I never run out of things to talk about because life is always happening and life is always changing. So I picked the topic of when is the right time to rehome an animal. How do we know when to rehome an animal? Bianca, you're looking for help with your behavior issues? Feel free to email me on that email address I posted, lara@theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. This is a topic that I did have scheduled to go live with a individual with an individual rehoming an animal and with a shelter. And I was going to schedule this back in December, but then life got a little off track and then the apocalypse hit. I wanted to bring this up for discussion because I see a lot of people saying, once I bring in an animal or once I adopt an animal, this is its forever home. I get that. I know we have our best intentions of that animal in mind when we say that and we do that. But I also want to say, from my personal experience, and I want to open this up for discussion, I have seen a lot of animals in my life that where I see in a certain situation and I'm like, this animal needs to go elsewhere. If you are truly interested in the future and the well-being of this animal, why hang on to it when this animal can be happier somewhere else? And this is not something new that I have thought. I have said this for years. Those of you that follow the work that we do know we have numerous species of animals here. The love of my life are several, but is Rico. But I have always said, for as long as I can remember, if somebody can prove to me that they can give Rico a better life than I can, I will seriously look into and consider rehoming him with you. And still, to this day, and he is 16 years old, and he is going to live to be hopefully beyond my years. If you can prove to me that you can give him a better home, you bet I'm going to be on the next plane out, checking out in your environment. Prove it to me, okay? And once you can prove it to me, he's yours. And that is an animal I love very much, and I love him that much that I would do that for him. I have seen this. Hey, Katie. Katie says this is a fabulous topic. Thanks. And feel free to jump in, give me your input. I have seen animals in homes where I'm just like, why are you hanging on to this animal? This is not a good fit. This is not a good scenario for you or this animal. You're both living in misery because you feel, this is just my input only. Feel free to jump in. Give me your feedback. What are you doing and why are you doing it? Because you gave your word to who? To what? Why don't we take in the overall health, mentally and physically of that animal? And if that animal can do better somewhere else, let it go. I have done this several times. All right. My animals that are here, that I have every intention of staying with me, are several. Okay. There are several that have come to me because they were either going to be put down, they lost their home, they were found out in the streets. We have all of those scenarios. Okay. I have taken in an animal where I'm like, I never had the desire to have this species. And that may sound selfish, but I'm being honest. I have never had the desire to have this species, but I can temporarily take in this species and get it out of a situation where it's in now, where I can continue to search for the right home. And I have had an animal with me for 6 years where I'm like, this animal needs to get out of this environment because I can provide it. I feel like I can provide it a better environment until I find it the right home. I have done that several times here. Dawn says, the most selfless act we can do is know when an animal is happy or in a different environment. Yes, I agree. And Nita, hey Nita, says the guilt of not being able to follow through is so hard. Believe me, I know that. I know that guilt. I know that pain. I just went through it last weekend. With an animal I only had here for a year, with every intention, this animal was never going to stay here. Okay. Bringing this animal in, I was able to train it. And through training it, I was able to better understand it. And through better understanding was a lot of observation, a lot of communication through training. I sat back and I watched and I was just like, this animal wants to be with that animal. It also wants to be with that animal and that animal. It does not. It shows different behaviors when it's with me. So that is when, and I took a whole year, almost a little over a year, like 1 year and 3 days. Okay. But this decision was made months ago, but the pandemic hit. And I just transferred this animal last weekend. And that was extremely hard. And I sat here over the past couple weeks thinking, why is this so hard for me? Why is this particular animal so hard for me to rehome when I know this is the right thing for this animal? And I second guessed myself every single hour of that 8-hour trip, every single hour. And then I rehomed it last Saturday. And even through seeing this animal, I stayed all day Saturday so I could watch. And I could see immediate changes in this animal. And even seeing them, I was second guessing myself. Why? I don't know. I guess I just love the animal that much that I needed to make sure. I wanted somebody saying, Lara, you are doing the right thing. I wanted numerous people. And even my girlfriend, Jeannie Underwood, met me out there. And she's like, she told me, and I'm crying. I'm sitting there crying. And I tried to stay away from everybody so I could stop crying. But I think I loved that animal so much because He was such a challenge for me. And I don't want to say such a challenge because I taught him a lot of things. I don't want to say easily. I guess it's because I wanted it so much for this animal. This animal is 39 years old, 39 years of life, okay? And I'm making this move to get you with another animal that he has never had before. And I knew it, but I still second guessed myself. And even I saw it with my own two eyes. I saw this animal with another animal, and I was just like, wow, that's really cool. Ball. And Jeannie Underwood told me, she's like, would you stop crying? Because I have never seen Sunshine so, she's like, he's happy. He's interacting with other animals. You walked out the door and he didn't even pay attention to you. You were just wiped off the map, which is exactly what I wanted. I want to read some of the things you guys are saying. Mark says, I worry about animals, especially birds, bring home for bad reasons, sometimes more than once. So sad for the bird. Yeah. And if you're working with birds, that's the world we live in. Okay. The difference between birds and dogs. Okay. And I've had this conversation before. The difference between birds, dogs, parrots, let me say parrots, be specific. Parrots, dogs, pigs, horses, what other animals that get rehomed in a lifetime? Dogs have a lifespan of average 11 to 15 years. Okay. The problem with the rehoming of dogs is dogs are probably, and somebody tell me if I'm incorrect, are probably the most popular companion animal. Okay. So shelters are overflowing. A difference, which I'm not saying is any more important, but a difference between a dog shelter and a parrot shelter is parrots can live 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And I've been in shelters. This is the part that's sad. One of the numerous parts. And just think about this. If you're a dog person, I don't care who you are in here. You walk into a shelter and see an animal that's under a year old that has already lost his home, and he's under a year old, okay? And now you've got 80 years ahead of you, and this is where you're at, under a year old. Got a little bit of a problem here. Tara, I'm sorry. Sometimes you have to think with your head and not with our hearts. And that is hard to do. And that is a decision I just made. And that's not the only one I've done. I've rehomed numerous animals that have come in here. Tara says, but dogs are domestic, whereas birds are not. And I see differences in the shelters. Some of our dog people, feel free to jump in and let me know what you think. Let me tell you something else. And I may have never stated this about myself publicly, but it's true. And I'm a very transparent person. I am only human, okay? Even though I live stream all the time on Facebook, whatever, I'm the same human as you that likes to sit down and relax on my couch on a Saturday night and cuddle with my dogs or whatever. I will tell you this. Over the past couple of years, if I take in an animal that I have taken in, hey Judah, just because I need to temporarily find it another home that I know that I can do better, if that animal stays here for too long, I do notice a difference in how I treat that animal. Okay? That's just me being honest. There's animals here that I have longed for, I've craved for an interaction with. There's species here that I've craved for that interaction with. And then I take in one from over here because it was going to be put down, and I can, do you guys know who I'm talking about? We have an animal, we have numerous animals, a couple different animals here that we're going to be put down. So I have taken them in without the intention of keeping them. They need to go back out. I can find it a home. If that animal does not go back out in the long term, some people may say I'm showing favoritism. What I'm showing is my true heart, is these animals I have longed for relationships with. And this one that is staying here that needed to go out a long time ago, I will treat different. I do treat different, and that's just me being honest. And I had somebody ask me in a coffee shop once, and this is true too. She was talking about her dog, and she's like, I feel bad. I've taken in a dog. I brought it in for my kids. We have 2 dogs. I favor the one. I don't like the other dog. And she goes, I feel so guilty saying it. I was like, don't feel guilty. Just don't feel guilty. When you feel guilty, you hide some of your feelings. And if you hide feelings, you're hiding information. And that's information I'm not getting, if you want my honest help. So she's like, I don't like this dog. And I can't rehome it because my kids love it. And she's like, I am trying so hard to make my relationship better with this dog. What can I do? Does anyone want to take a guess what I told her? And I followed my own advice. Okay. I told her, I practice what I preach. I told her, I said, you want a better relationship with that dog? Train it. When you start training it, you start understanding it. When you start understanding, you know that dog. And then you begin appreciating that dog. No, Kimberly, it's not Rocky. Anybody want to keep guessing? It's not Rocky. Rocky was one of the few animals here that was going to be put down that I took in. I wanted Rocky. I searched for Rocky for a long time. A couple years. I wanted a Moluccan cockatoo so bad. Yep, train it. Anybody want to take a guess who that animal is? Tambry says Suki. No, but you're on to something there. Okay. Anybody else want to take a guess? I fell in love with him. He's not going anywhere. I've even had somebody come in here, and I'm sure you guys think this can know the same here, is somebody came in and said, wanted to get to know a certain species of animal, and somebody came in and said, I want that animal. I will write you out a check now. And he told me an amount, and it was an enormous amount of money. Then I just said, over my dead body. No, this animal is not for sale. He's not going anywhere. So people are saying Snow. No, Ray, it's not Snow. Snow is our deaf and blind dog. Snow did come in with the intention of possibly going back out. Susie says Sam. No, I knew when Sam was coming here, Sam was staying here. And Sam did. Yes, Samantha, you hit the nail on the head. Levi, our deaf bulldog. Do you guys remember when Levi came here? Levi was going to be put down because he was deaf at 11 weeks old. And I just said, that was nice. And that was really hard for me being nice. And she told me, she's like, I'm going to put the dog down because he's deaf. And I was just like, why? What's wrong with the dog? Are you having a behavior issue? And she said, no, I'm just going to, I don't want it falling in the wrong hands. And I was like, well, that's your responsibility to make sure it doesn't. So she said she was going to put the animal down, the dog. That was Levi. And I said, will you just surrender the dog to me and I will find it a home? And she's like, well, she started hesitating. Well, what home are you going to find it? And I just said, erase what I just said. Let me rephrase that. Will you surrender the dog to me and sign over all rights to me? She said, yeah. I said, okay. Done. Do you guys remember that? That was, gosh, Levi's going to be 8 in October. And I brought him in and I was going to train him and I was going to rehome him. And then you guys told me, why are you not keeping him to show the world how you work with deaf animals? Because I've worked with, working in a wildlife rehab center. Yeah, it's different. You're working with wildlife. You're not working with domestic animals, but you're working with animals that are blind due to hit by car. You're working with animals that are deaf due to injury. You're working with animals that are missing a leg, missing a wing. So when you train species that you're not familiar with, those are my best teachers. And I've learned when you're working with an animal that's blind, don't approach it from this side, because all of a sudden you're going to come into view and it's going to startle the animal. And then you're paired with that, okay? You're paired with that aversive. So when I'm working with a blind animal, if I need to come across it and I'm up here, I'm going to be way up here. And I'll come across here, and then I'll approach and I'll train from this side. How did I get over there? Anyways, I work with a lot of deaf, blind. I don't call them handicapped because they're not handicapped. Special needs are special because whatever sense is missing, the other ones are amplified. And it is amazing. It's called adaptation. Don't feel sorry for my animals because they don't know life any different. And if they do, I try to make whatever life they're in now the best it can possibly be. So yes, it's Levi. It's Levi. I do treat Levi different than I treat Quincy. I do treat Levi different than I treat Snow. And do I feel guilty for that? Yeah, sometimes I do. I'm like, gosh, why am I doing this? My husband and I got in a huge argument because I said Levi's coming in and he's going out, because I had plans for other animals to keep coming in and I would train, boom, go out so they could be adopted. And when Levi came, my husband and I got in a huge argument. My husband and I have gotten in an argument about a couple of the animals. And another one we got in an argument about that started 10 years ago. He told me, I will divorce you. I will leave you if you rehome this animal. Well, we're still married and that animal's no longer here. Because the animal could be happier somewhere else. And due to arguing and fighting between my husband and I, that animal had to stay here, okay? The animal had to stay here and live here. And everybody may think that, oh, every animal's lucky if they get to come to the Animal Behavior Center. I don't know. What does that mean? What is that? Just because I provide gargantuous enclosures, big outdoor areas for animals to run and play. If that animal is craving attention, socialization, physical touch, and I'm not giving it, yeah, there's a problem there. Okay? And that animal stayed with me for, I don't know, how long? 9 years? It needed to go somewhere else. And it went somewhere else a year ago this March, and that was Murray, our green-winged macaw. Murray is now thriving in a house where he craved being, in a house with people. And he is rehomed with Kendall Jukala, one of our volunteers. And he is thriving and he's getting that attention, okay? More so than I could give him here. I could provide him a gargantuous enclosure in as much time as I could give him. But that animal, Murray, went through several years of something could have been given better to him. Looking at what you guys are saying, Bianca, thank you. I think what you did was incredible for Levi. But you know what? Levi's still with us. Levi probably should have gone somewhere else, but not really. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence because I treat Quincy and Snow different than Levi because I wanted Quincy. I didn't know if I wanted Snow or not. I drove down to North Carolina and picked her up. Was going to train a deaf and blind dog because I'd never done it before. I learn from new opportunities. I don't want to sit here and keep training umbrella cockatoos. I developed that relationship with Snow, and through this pandemic, Snow, the day before the United States went on lockdown, do you guys know where I was? Sitting in my attorney's office because I knew it was coming and getting my will up to date with all of my animals. And Snow has a home if anything happens to me. But with Levi absolutely adores my husband. His body screams happy when he sees my husband walk in that door. And I sit there and I look at that and I'm like, he doesn't act like that for me. Doesn't need to. As long as he has it, if he's going to stay here, he needs to have it with somebody. And that person that I said, when she said she didn't like her dog, what do I do? And I said, train it. Do you know when I sit down and train Levi, our relationship goes from, that dog loves me. That dog loves me. And when I see how excited he is, and I see it through his behaviors change on his face, when I sit down and train him, it's just like he's saying, his behaviors are saying, I've missed you. Yeah. Why is this taking so long for us to have this type of relationship and communication? So let me take a look at what you guys are saying. Yes, and Beth Peoples is on here. Beth, I rehomed Molly. Does anybody remember Molly? That's how long it's been. That's when the Animal Behavior Center, the first couple years of the Animal Behavior Center, I rehomed Molly, our Solomon Island Eclectus, with Beth. Beth has Molly. Beth came to me from an avian vet. Did I want Molly? No, not really. But the vet wanted her just to give her to me because I would take this bird home and kind of like bird sit for it while the vet got too busy with boarders. And then all of a sudden I had Molly. They just called me and said, hey, congratulations, you have Molly. I was like, oh, I don't know if that's the right fit. And it wasn't. We moved here. Now, just because it's a bird, take this and think about any species of animal. We moved here. The animals are now out in the center, not in the home. and Molly was with a grunting pig running around, a rambunctious Rottweiler puppy, a rambunctious and deaf Old English Bulldog puppy, and I don't know, some cockatoos and a green wing and a blue front. That was a lot of noise, a lot of motion, and it was happening all around her. And I see eclectuses not doing well in environments that are very loud, in environments that have a lot of fast-moving kids, dogs, whatever. And once again, my husband and I got in an argument. He's like, Molly is staying here. You cannot rehome her. And so I said, fine, you take care of her. There's a lot more to responsibility of taking care of an animal than paying for its dog food, than paying for its vet care. You know what I mean? Money is only a small fraction of it. Money is the easy part. Okay? The hard part is the cleaning up. The hard part for me is the stress I go through watching the stress the animal goes through. So that means I got a lot of stress in my life. I am very stressed when I see a stressed animal. So I was like, this is not fair for this animal. You don't even see her. Finances for her would have never been a problem if she stayed here. That's minuscule, all right? This animal is stressed. This animal needs to be in a quiet home, not a large training center where one day you're going to look to your left and there's an owl. One day you're going to look to your right and, oh, there's a lemur. That's stressful for an animal that is not used to change, is not ready for that, or is just not happy with it. This is not a lifestyle for a lot of animals. This is a lifestyle for animals to start thriving and become empowered and then be rehomed. And this is the right lifestyle for animals that seek and crave change, curiosity, enrichment, adventure. All right? That's not every animal. So, but Levi has stayed and he's happy. Okay. So I can continue to tell you the story I went through last week. I don't like Coffee with the Critters to be about one specific species. I like to be, because then we're just labeling, right? And not seeing how this can generalize across species. Love your Coffee with the Critters on Sundays. Thank you for doing this amazing thing you do. My birds have a much more enriched life because of you, because when we know better, we do better. Thank you, Mimi. I'm going to show you a quick story of my life last weekend, real quick, okay? There are photos and videos I have never shown you guys that would blow your mind of some of the things of Sunshine. So last week, we made this decision. I made this decision, I don't know if it was back in December or January, that Sunshine needs to go live his life with another bird. So I chose, and I talked to best friends about it. They agreed. I found a place that could give him a sanctuary lifestyle. And not all animals should go to sanctuaries. I've seen some sanctuaries where I've just had to walk out and cover my mouth and not say anything and just get out. That's why I always tell people, if you're going to surrender an animal to a sanctuary, to a shelter, it is your responsibility to know how that shelter functions. So Sunshine need to be with another bird. He's 39 years old. Okay. This is an older bird. He deserves this. All of us agreed, goes to a helping wing. I know a helping wing. I go out there. They have me come in and train their staff. So here we were last week. We got on the road. This was last Friday. And this is a picture I took Saturday morning. Where did we stay? Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania is where we stayed. It was a rainy Saturday morning, but this is where I drove him that morning before I dropped him off at a helping wing, and we sat and overlooked some mountains. That's what we're doing. And that's just where I told him, thanks for being a great teacher. I love you so much. You have given me a lot in the past year, a lot of education, and now it's time for all of us to give back to you. Okay, so here we were the night before in the hotel room, and we partied. Sunshine and I partied that night. I have video after video of him flying through the room on the perch, and we're singing, we're dancing, we're doing all kinds of things. And that night I was second guessing myself. Once I ended up putting him in the bathroom and turning the lights off so he could sleep. And I sat there and cried myself to sleep because I was just like, am I making the right decision? God, we had so much fun. But then I just kind of slapped myself into reality, and I was like, what does fun look like? What does fun mean? The thing Sunshine wanted the most was to sit in front of the mirror. And I have a video of that. And he wanted, I would swing him in the mirror and he was staring at himself. That's the thing he wanted the most. How do I know he wanted it? If I put him down on the ground, he ran into the bathroom. If the perch was near the bathroom, he would step on it and wait for me to pick him up. And through that contingency, I picked him up and put him in front of the mirror, and he would want to sit there and swing and stare at himself. And I was like, Lara, you're making the right decision. He needs to be with another bird. So I was up at 4:10 the next morning, not being able to sleep, thinking, am I making the right decision? And then at 7:10, I ended up drifting back to sleep, and I hear a noise out of the corner, and I rolled over and I was like, oh yeah, there's you. It's like rolling over and seeing a wolf spider on your pillow is what I said. And any of you know Sunshine know what I'm talking about. So I wanted to show you, I've got a couple of videos for you that I'll try for the first time to see. And what I hope doesn't happen, through sharing this live stream and this information is numerous people thinking they don't have what it takes to take care of their animal and surrender it. Contact me, okay? Because there's animals here that I thought, I cannot do this. I am not cut out for this. This animal needs to go. And that animal has stayed and has become so extremely close to me. And over my dead body, is that animal going anywhere? Unless somebody can prove. Does anybody want to take a guess? Where I was just like, I cannot do this. This animal has to go. This animal is making my life a living hell. Is making my husband's life a living hell. My husband didn't sign up for this. Anybody want to take a guess who that is? That animal's still here. I watched my husband not be able to live the fun lifestyle he deserved because this animal was ruining all of my husband and I's life together. And so many times I'm like, you're out of here. You're out of here. I can't do this. Am I going to sacrifice my life? I have feelings like everybody else does too. Am I going to sacrifice my life, the only life I'll ever have, to know where you are? And I went back and forth. No, you got to go. No, it can't let you go. No, you got to go. I can do more. You got to get out of here. No, I can do more. Anybody want to take a guess who that is? He is. No. Kim? No, but good guess. Rico is the first animal I've had. Anybody want to take a guess who that animal is? Yeah. Rocky. I love him so much, I put him on my arm. He is the mascot of the center. He is probably the hardest animal, and I train a lot of animals. A lot of animals. Alligators, baboons, giraffe, whatever. It was Rocky. He is the hardest animal I've ever trained. And I'll tell you what, he is the reason, no other reason, he is the reason I went back to school taking master level classes in applied behavior analysis, not so I could open the Animal Behavior Center. I didn't want to do anything else but understand behavior. And through studying and applying behavior analysis, I began understanding. And I entered this new world of looking at life a lot differently, and how I've gone so wrong so many times in the past, and I didn't have to, because now I understand. It's Rocky. And Rocky is the mascot of the center, and Rocky will go nowhere. You know why? That is an animal that was going to be put down for behaviors labeled as aggressive, and that was advice given to me professionally. This animal needs to be put down. But I was just like, okay, and I almost did it. I almost did it because I was professionally told this needed to be done. Rocky came this close to being put to sleep. And I said, hang on a minute. I got some work to do. And I started my classes in applied behavior analysis, and I started a blog, and I started journaling. And if you go back all those years ago, you may find some of that. When I was first experimenting and trying to understand how frustrating life had to be for Rocky. He is a completely different bird. Oops, I wasn't going to tell anybody it was a bird. Because I don't want people thinking, oh, it's a bird, it doesn't pertain to me. No, what it is it's an animal. It's behavior, and it pertains to every single person on this live stream. All of us. No matter, it is an animal, it is behavior. And if you're watching this, it's because information here is relevant to you. You may not agree with me. You don't have to. You don't have to. There's people here at the center that don't agree with me. It's okay. It's life. All right? And if I don't agree with you, I'm going to sit here and try to figure out why don't I agree with you? Because when I start to figure that out, there's a different part of life I may have not experienced where I can learn to know and do better. It's okay, Julie. I was going to eventually say it was Rocky. I just hate telling people certain species of animals until the story's over, because I want them to know this does pertain to you. So I came that close to putting Rocky down because I was advised. And then you always hear me say, when we know better, we do better. I can't stop knowing, because there's a lot of things I don't know. And that's why I train numerous different animals. And when there's different functions, and there's not a pandemic, when there's different functions happening, I want to fly and go there. You know why? Not necessarily for the speaker, for the presenters, because I want to be in this group of people, of like-minded people, because I learn the most through the people attending seminars. Because there's a lot of stories there. There's a life. That's your life. I don't know anything about your life. Your life consists of different experiences that I don't have and I don't understand. So I don't have the time to live your life. I'll never get that time back, but I can understand different scenarios that I haven't lived through talking to you. And through talking to you, I can do better. All right. So when I saw this happening, I was like, yep, right decision made. This is Sunshine on the right. This is Oscar on the left. And I came home Sunday. I think I went to my sister's Sunday night. And I said, Sunshine has a boyfriend. And my sister goes, oh, she has a boyfriend already? And I said, he does. And she's like, oh, good. Sunshine has a boyfriend, and his name is Oscar, and he's waited 39 years to be this happy. So I will go back out and see him. I will continue to raise money for Sunshine because I know him. And a helping wing has taken him in, and they're going to take on a lot of expenses by having Sunshine live there for the rest of his life. This is Sunshine in the foreground, Oscar in the background. I love this. Okay? Even though it's a bird, I don't care what animal it is. This is what was best for Sunshine. And I knew that through keeping him for a year, working with him every day, watching how he interacted with other animals. I thought months ago, I would have said, Sunshine's here to stay. He's staying. He's staying. And then the more I saw, the more I was like, that's selfish. That is a very selfish decision for me. Because this is Sunshine's only life. You know? He's not going to get another life. So I did the best with what I knew. And I was like, it's all I have. All I have is what I know. And I've known Sunshine for over a year because I worked with him out at Best Friends too. And I love this photo. This is me, my girlfriend Jeannie Underwood, right to my immediate left. Jeannie Gilligan and her husband John Gilligan in the back. They are owners of a helping wing. I have been to Jeannie and John's several times. They have me come out and train their staff. That is where I adopted Sam. And Jeannie and John have been here. Jeannie's been here a couple of times. I know Jeannie very well. I know her. And I love her and John. And even we don't need to agree on everything. But we agree on almost everything. We may do some things a little differently. And that's okay. It's okay. Sunshine's going to have a very good life. So, with that being said, I want to thank you because the Sam I Can Foundation is the nonprofit that we started here through Sam's death. And this is not just for birds, this is for all animals, but our mission is different. Our mission, we're a lot more than transport. We're a lot more than getting animals where they need to go. We're about education. And we do that through our live streaming. We're a nonprofit to empower and help people that need help and their animals. And we do that through telling a story and sharing education. So you guys that donated to the Sam I Can Foundation made this happen. And I can't thank you enough. And I'm sure this is coming from me, the president of the Sam I Can Foundation, Therese Copawoda, vice president of the Sam I Can Foundation, Karen Pratt, treasurer, and Dina Drenner, secretary. We all thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And Sunshine, can't thank you enough. And I thank Best Friends Parrot Garden for trusting in me, making this happen. We have 1 day left of our fundraiser. We asked $1,200. We're up to $1,820. And I want to continue raising money because I'm going to help try to make something else happen for Sunshine while he's out there. The Sam I Can Foundation will be writing a check here very soon once the fundraiser ends. So, I was going to show you a couple videos. Okay. You can follow the Sam I Can Foundation on our Facebook page. Okay. Follow it. Be alerted to notifications because sometimes it goes dormant for a while until boom, we get another case and then it goes big. And so pay attention. All right, which one? It's my first time showing a video. Okay. Let's see if this works. This is Sunshine in the front, Oscar in the back. Hello. That was Sunshine saying hello first, and I believe, and Oscar saying hello. Oscar's on the right. Oscar, don't let Sunshine pluck you. Then I have a second video. Let me show another one. I already showed that one. One more video. Where did it go? Sorry, guys. It's my first time showing a video. Okay, here it is. This was, I asked Jeannie on Friday, how is Sunshine doing? I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to be a pest. He is now yours. I just want to know what he's doing. And she said, I'll show you. Outside getting a shower with Oscar. So Sunshine can now live the life he wants, the life he deserves. And I can't thank a helping wing in Blairstown, New Jersey enough. You can contact them at ahelpingwing.org. And I can't thank Best Friends enough in Kanab, Utah, Best Friends Parrot Garden for trusting in my work with Sunshine. The whole time Sunshine was here, he did not belong to me. He belonged to Best Friends. And we had a conversation in making this decision for Sunshine. And I can't thank you, all of you watching this enough for helping make this happen. If you want to find out more about the work we do, you can on our website, theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. You can also get in touch with me, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. If you would like more information or want to make monthly donations to the Sam I Can Foundation, you can find more information there on our website at samicanfoundation.org. Everybody, happy 4th of July. Thank you for supporting the work we do. All right. I thank each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great east of your weekend too. All right. I got to go train some alligators. See you guys. Thanks, Nancy. See you in February. Thanks, Deb.